Hi everybody, Q&A day today. So first question that came in was reference the interior monitoring. So inside the vehicles, all the vehicles have alarms on them, and part of that alarm package is an interior monitoring. Obviously you can turn that off. Now originally on California and most of the Volkswagen range, to be honest, there used to be a little button on the side panel down here. And somebody said that they've got a 6.1, I think it was, and it's got no button on the side. So it was around this time where the button on the side that you could press before you lock the vehicle, like turn interior monitoring off, disappeared, and it's now all done directly through your head unit instead that's on here. So you can click into there. On a lot of the vehicles now within the Volkswagen range, when you actually leave the vehicle and you get out, it's one of the things that's on the screen with a little button that you can click as you're getting out to turn it on or turn it off. And on other ones, for example, on some of the early 6.1s, when they first changed it, you can go into the settings and turn it off and then get out of the vehicle instead. So the question was, where's it gone, or why have I not got it? Well, that's why basically, is because those buttons that were there have been replaced now. It's all electronic and all done straight off the dash. Next question was to do with comfort or the ride of a vehicle. How can you change that without affecting the warranty? Well, there's a couple of ways that's in there. Obviously, you could, for example, if you'd ordered a vehicle, you could order it with dynamic chassis control previously. So if you've got that on your vehicle, that will obviously improve the vehicle's positioning on the road that's there. Alternative from that, obviously you can fit things like springs. So Volkswagen do their own accessory range, and springs is in that accessory range. That would not affect the warranty that's in there. So that would reduce your vehicle by about 30 mil on those springs, which means the centre of gravity is a little bit lower, so cornering and things like that, for example, would improve the ride that's in there as well. Things like tyres, for example, on the vehicle. So I know, for example, some people have had Californias. You might have bought a used California and it might have big wheels on it, say 20-inch wheels somebody's put on as an aftermarket thing that's on there. That will really affect the ride of that vehicle. So you might, for example, decide you want to change that back to something smaller, which is what the vehicle would have originally had on for the factory. So we said that will make a difference as well. And then you can even get a dampening kit as well on things like the 6.1 that's there as well. Again, that's quite an expensive option. But all of those things wouldn't affect the warranty because they are Volkswagen approved accessories. And the key thing as well with this is a lot of people with this warranty thing think, oh, you know, if I go and change the suspension, you know, is my engine still covered and things like that. It's only the parts which you're changing which affects on the warranty anyway. But as I said, if you're fitting Volkswagen accessories, approved accessories, there's no indication to change that anyway. Now obviously on something like the T7, the ride quality on this is fantastic. It really is miles apart of what it has been on the previous models, as you would expect, because it's a lot newer vehicle. It's got that newer modern technology that's in there as well. So probably I would assume this question was more directed about things like the T5, T6, T6.1 era of vehicles as well, rather than the T7. So next question is about the carpet in the California and how easy it was to actually fit it. So they're referring to the video I've done on mine with the carpet that's in here. So I've got the actual carpet which goes in, asking how easy it to fit. Easiest thing in the world to fit. It's obviously quite big and you need to be able to push it underneath the mat that comes in here. But the only fitting side of it is this. So along this very edge here, there's a bit of Velcro, and there's a bit of these strips of Velcro that's in here, and whatever California you've got on the T6, C6.1, even the T5 version, the carpet's exactly the same. So these things here just slot in. You have to pull this up a bit and slot that in behind it. And it just, if you put your fingers in, you'll just be able to pull it up a little bit, pop it in there. So those are on there. Obviously put your carpet down where it needs to go. When these things arrive, these carpets arrive, so as I said, this carpet, I got this from Campervantastic. When these carpets arrive, obviously they're folded up, so you need to let them fold out and stretch out from on there. Put it exactly where it needs to go, and then with this outer edge, you're literally just folding it down, pushing it down all the way. And then when you're getting in and out, you're not catching the edge and it stays exactly where it is. And a carpet in a California is definitely, I think, a top accessory for you to have. It just changes the vehicle, I think, inside when you're out and about, especially in the summertime as well, because you're getting in and out all the time as well. And it's nice and easy to keep clean. I've got a brush that I just brush it off and keep it clean from on here. talking of accessories, I've also had another question about these hooks that I've got on the vehicle. Again, these were for Camper Fantastic. Check out their website. The guys at Camper Fantastic, really, really good. They do all the accessories, the actual brand up accessories for California as well. They're involved in the California club as well that's in there. So these are available from them. You can get them just as that, which is just a hook itself. You can buy them individually, I think, or as a pair. And then this obviously is just a rail that comes on here as well. So you could have, for example, one of those I think I mentioned before, that's there. You could have that, for example, and just put coats on it and things like that on it rather than on that. Obviously I'm using it at the moment as a rail because it goes over the kitchen unit, and they literally just clip in and clip over the side and just hold themselves in place. It's on there as well. Okay, I'm back in the vehicle now. A few people have asked about the 4Motion T7 California. This vehicle is available to order now, so you can order this as a factory option. There are 1 or 2 vehicles around. I've got lots and lots of videos coming on this particular vehicle, but I'm going to be doing a bit of testing with it. We're going to be showing you things like the range, etc. with that, because obviously that's the hybrid version as well that's there. But yes, that vehicle is available to order, so you can place an order for the 4Motion variation today. Now, one of you had asked about the camping gas bottle in the new T7 and whether or not you could fit a camping gas 907, which is the same bottle that you would have used in a 6.1 Ocean that's there. So today I brought my 907 gas bottle. So this is a standard 907 gas bottle size, and I thought I'd actually just show you. So most of them arrive, they seem to have the brass cap on here, so I've just removed take that off the regulator itself. Pop that on top of the one from on here, tight, there we go, and then pop that into there, and then you would obviously just strap that on from on there once it was done. So the regulator itself obviously is going to go on the end, so we've got that there needs to go on here, so it's probably just a case of moving it around. Now what I've tended to do in the past is obviously this can coil round as it goes on the top, so if you put that onto the attachment, this might be a bit difficult to show you, but basically if you put that on there and then there we go, tighten it up, hope you can see this, there we go. Okay, so this is tight, that's on here as well, so to get it tight, if you keep hold of that and you can just wiggle this up, so I hold onto the bracket, pull it up a bit and then re-tighten it and just keep tightening it so that you know that it's quite tight, that's on there as well. Okay, so we've done the strap up now that's on here as well, so it's just a case of popping this back on, put that in there, put that down and then lock it back in place on there. So yes, a 907 gas bottle does fit in there. Obviously you could fit a 904 in if you wanted. That's the smaller size. That's what you would have on a beach, for example. That's on there, so it will go in from on there, putting it in. But I think the key thing with that is obviously put your screw top on and then fit your regulator. I tend to find it easier fitting the regulator when it's actually in. So I'm wondering whether somebody's maybe trying to fit the regulator and then put the whole thing in the cupboard as well, which is probably a bit trickier actually. I haven't tried that, but that might be possibly where there might be an issue. Moving on from the gas bottle itself, but still related, somebody else had asked about when they're boiling a kettle. So if they boil a kettle, do they, every time after they boil the kettle, do they need to go and turn the gas off in the back? And the answer to that is definitely no. So your gas supply has 3 shut-offs, or 3 ways in which it shuts. So you've got the gas bottle one, so you turn it on at the gas in the very back, for example, that's on there. You've got a secondary one, which looks like this. It's actually inside the vehicle, and then you've got the actual knob itself, the actual lighting system on the gas hob as well. Now this setup is no different between the T7 or the T6.1. They have exactly the same thing, and whether it's a beach as well, actually, worth saying, because the beach obviously has got a pull-out drawer at the back. These all have this cut-off here. Now on a 6.1, for example, this is in the cupboard. On the Ocean variation here, it's straight in front. So you can turn the gas hob, obviously when you finish using it, you can turn it off on the knob that's on here. You could turn it off here if you wanted to and put it in the locked position so that there's no gas coming out as well. Now for me, I very rarely turn off the gas in the back. I tend to have that on all the time. I tend to be using the one that's here. When I'm not using the vehicle, I tend to turn it off here rather than the back, just because I've got other things in the boot and I've got to get access to it. I'm going to turn it off here and everywhere. So I said, obviously you've got your main one that's here to turn off, that's on here, and then you've also got your one that's here as well. So if you wanted, for example, another cut off and shut off at night when you're asleep for any reason, obviously you could turn it off again on there. So to put it in a simple term for you to understand, when you're camping, you'd have the whole system, everything open except this one here, and you just use this for doing it from on there. If you're using it as a car and you're not using your cooking system at all, so you're not camping, I'd tend to then, I'll be using this one and turn it off just here. And then obviously if it's going into storage or anything like that, that's when I tend to turn it off in the back. We've got two questions which are kind of related that's in it. One is about removing this back section that's here, and can you do it? And the simple answer to that is yes, you can. There's a couple of things you can do with this. We are going to do a separate video on these as well, but there's a little pull up, so you can pull this up and put it all the way to the top, so you've got plenty of access to get in to the back here, because on the T7 this is a very big space. I've got a really good accessory we're going to be showing you shortly in another video to utilise this space very well in the back. So that can move up and down from on there. And obviously this section here is on a rail system, so the whole thing can come out. There's just a little catch that's in there. So there's one there and one at the side. Then you can remove the whole of this section. And what that was in combination with was can these seats, for example, then come further back? And the answer to that is yes. So if this wasn't here, those seats that are in here now would be able to move backwards. And the other question relating to it, but from somebody else, was can those seats be removed? I'm going to show you that now. So the T7 California is no different to the T7 multivan in the fact that these seats are all independent. So you can pull them forward, you can pull the catches down, it's in there, put the headrests up from in there, and then at the very back there's a red toggle which then allows you to pick this seat up completely and take it out. As you can see, that seat's completely removable. The same goes for the other one on the other side as well. Leading on from that question, these seats can actually go in the other way around, as we've done from here as well. They do actually work. So this is in back to front, and that moves on the railing system that's on there as well. I'm not sure why you would need to do that, but I'm just kind of showing you that you can do it. And the last question we had on seats was about additional seats. Can you buy additional seats? And I'm afraid the answer to that is no, as it has been with all the Californias in the past as well. You can't go to the parts person and say, I would like to buy one of these seats. Unfortunately, it's just not something we can supply. We've looked at it in the past about seats, and it's very expensive. You buy all the different individual pieces that go with it. But obviously you have had ones in the past where you've been able to get seats to go in. We've got a T7 California which we're using at the moment, but that is one of the things we are going to be looking at with that vehicle is, could we get some more seats in there if we needed to, a bit like the old fifth seat on the 6.1. And the last question for today is reference to the Buzz GTX. Somebody's asked can you get it just as a four-seater? And the answer to that is no, you can't just get it as a four-seater. You can either get it as a five-seater or a six-seater. So the answer to the question is kind of yes, because if it was me and you wanted four seats, and I know what you're trying to achieve that's there, having the two seats, captain seats up front, and then two seats behind it that's on there. Obviously your third row of seats behind that are just going to fold down. So they'll be at the same level then at the back, and that's just your normal boot space. No, because you'd have to get the 6-seat version rather than the 5-seat version, but that will give you 2, 2 and 2. Now I do actually have one of these vehicles on order, so once that vehicle arrives, it's due in the factory I think next week or the week after, so it's probably a month and a half away before it actually arrives with us. That's the standard wheelbase in a 6-seat variation that's there. So once that vehicle arrives, I can show you that and show you how it looks at. Also talking about ID Buzz, this vehicle, the standard wheelbase one, I believe is going to be available in a 7-seater shortly, or at some point. You'll be able to order that, hopefully fingers crossed, at some point this year, because I think that will be a really big seller as well. But the 6-seat version, I think, is a bit of a game changer on there, because you can have it as that type of vehicle where you've got those additional seats in the back should you need them. Keep those questions coming on the comments, and obviously we'll then look at them. Some of the questions you provided we'll actually be doing separate videos on. So people have been asking about the parking heater and the air heater. So we are going to be looking at those as a separate video, so we can answer all those questions more in depth in those. But keep the questions coming, and then every so often, every month or two, we'll do a Q&A session like this and we'll get those all answered. If you enjoyed today's video, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It really does help the channel out, makes we know that we're doing the right thing, and we'll see you next time.